Welcome. New show. What's new in Teams calling, meeting, and devices? My name is Michel Bouman. I'm the partner technical strategy lead for Microsoft Teams Rooms at Microsoft. I'm not doing the show by myself. I'm here with Martin. Martin, good to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, my name is Martin Boam. I'm an architect in the Centre of Excellence. So good to be here. Let's see what we can do with this new format.
Yeah, and people always ask us, so what's new? So there's always a blog out that kind of shows you what's new, and then people still would love to see this in video form. So we're gonna try and record an episode every month. Martin and his team do a great job of putting everything in nice PowerPoint decks. So we will be doing a show every month to show you what is new in meetings, calling, and devices. For now, it's pre-recorded. Martin, maybe we can do live shows eventually as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be fun, right? Okay, let's jump into it because I think we have a lot. I think it's important to know that everything that we talk about, release dates and timings, are subject to change. Roadmap stuff changes all the time, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So please take this. These are subject to change. Also, it isn't the full Teams roadmap. We are calling meetings and devices here. So if you want to check out the full roadmap, head over to the M365 roadmap.
Yes, so everything is publicly available. It'll show what's currently being released, what's in development, and the stuff that we're thinking about. And we have become a little bit more cautious with putting things on the roadmap because we have, I think, a couple of examples where we have said, "Hey, something is about to be released," and then it took us a few months to actually get it out there. Before we head into last month's announcement, shall we go back to Ignite first and see what was announced at Ignite around meetings? Or mostly
Yeah,
devices, I think.
yeah. There was a lot as well.
There was there was a lot. Let's start with this new Yealink device. It's I think the first center of room 360-degree panoramic camera that is designed for Teams rooms. It's a standalone device. I think the cool part about this, Martin, we've all been there. People are sitting at a table, like here in the image. You're dialing in virtually, and everybody's having a conversation amongst themselves. You can't really look them in the eye because so much stuff is happening at the table. And I think now with the 360 camera, I think we're really taking it to the next level when it comes to these inclusive meetings.
Yeah, and how cool is it? You push the button and it goes up like that, and then all the lenses appear. But yeah, I mean, all about making remote participants feel even closer and making people feel more inclusive in that, because conversations happen in the room remote, but how do we make sure the remote people feel fully engaged in that conversation, whether they're talking in the room or talking remotely? Yeah, this is a great camera.
Yeah, there's a good another big announcement that not a lot of people saw coming, and I must admit it shocked me when I first heard about it a couple of months ago. Is that Cisco is now is going to be a certified device partner for Teams rooms. What was your first reaction, Martin, when you first heard this?
Yeah, I think similar, really. I was like, whoa, how long there's always been the Cisco Microsoft thing. But yeah, I think massive opportunity there. Cisco, well known for their hardware. Obviously, they have their own meeting solutions using WebEx, but now you'll be able to use Teams rooms on Cisco meeting devices, and not just meeting devices as well. They're bringing out Team certified peripherals as well. And I did notice this week the first peripheral has been Team certified now. The Cisco Desk Camera 4K, which says it's an intelligent USB camera as well. So, but not all Cisco devices, though, is it?
No, so I think it started with six. So we'll have six devices coming between now and somewhere early 2023. I think it's on the slide. So it's the Cisco Board Pro, both 55 and 75 inch, of which I've heard that we're pretty close already to certification. Cisco Room Bar, and then the Room Kit Pro, and then the peripherals, the Cisco camera. But I've also heard that a newer Cisco devices might get a firmware upgrade to get that native Teams experience. So how this will happen is everything will be natively MTR on Android. So you get the Android version of Teams Rooms. Now, if you want to join a Teams meeting, you simply, again, one touch join, you hit the button and you join that meeting. Now, let's say you need to join a WebEx meeting. you switch automatically to a native WebEx environment. So it's not the direct guest join option that you would normally see on a Teams Rooms device. You get the native Cisco experience, and then once you finish your WebEx call, it'll be defaulted back to the Teams Rooms on Android version of the device. Now, if you have, and that happens when you have both a Cisco and a Teams license. If you only have a Teams license, or a Teams Rooms license, I should say, and you want to join the WebEx call, then you will be directed to direct guest join. And I guess the other way around as well, when you don't have the Microsoft license, but you do have the Cisco license, you'll use the direct guest join client that we offer to Cisco. But I think it's exciting to see that we'll now have two native solutions on one device. So I can't wait to see what customers will do with this.
Yeah, it's always been a question about joining other meetings and the direct guest join solution, but that leverages WebRTC. But to actually see two native solutions on a single device, that can only make the user experience better. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if others follow. But yeah, it looks good. I look forward to seeing this, and also their peripherals as well.
That was another new thing, and now I get a little bit jealous, or you just made me jealous when you showed it to me, because you actually have a Presenter Plus there, don't you?
I do. I'm going to bring it.
Show it.
I am. I'm just going to bring it around. So here she is.
Let me get this out of the way. Here we go.
She's in a little dock at the moment, so I'll take her out. So yeah, this is the Presenter Plus. I was lucky enough to get one of these. So similar to other solutions I've used, but this one Teams certified and actually has integrations into Teams meetings. And I've been using it for about 3 weeks. It's absolutely awesome. So presenting remotely in Teams is superb. And also, I do find myself, when I'm not even presenting, just holding it in my hand like this, because you can mute and unmute. And then you've got the Teams button that you can press to raise your hand. You've got a forward, backward button and a laser as well. So it does work with PowerPoint Live as well. So sharing PowerPoint Live in Teams works outside of Teams, just sharing normal PowerPoint. And also what's interesting, when your meeting notification pops up, it vibrates. And yeah, so it alerts you that you should be in a meeting. And then you can just push the button and the meeting join experience pops up. And then you get a nice little charging dock, so you can put it in there. Works with Bluetooth on the back. You can turn it on and off as well. Yeah, so I used it yesterday. I actually presented in person.
With that shot. Is it good?
Yeah, so I used it. Yeah, I mean, again, I used the left-right button. The laser was used. Now, I wasn't in a meeting or anything, so I didn't use the mute, unmute, or the Teams icon there. But worked great. You can customize some of the buttons as well. So you get the Microsoft Accessory Center when you install it. Yeah, it's an awesome little tool. I guess the only thing I do miss compared to other solutions, like the Spotlight, is like the little software where you can have the timer when you're presenting in person, and you have a countdown and a timer. But it can give, you can set 5-minute warning, vibrate in hand. But yeah, I absolutely love it.
Let's talk to the broader group about that. It's available now for pre-orders only in selected markets. So let's hope we expand that a little bit, because where I'm in the Netherlands, we can't get it yet. But I can't wait to get my hands on this. Some of the pieces of feedback that we always got is why, when you have certified headsets, they always have to be either wired or have that special connector. I think the new native Bluetooth for Team certified device for Surface Headphones 2 Plus, I think is a unique one, isn't it?
Yeah, and yeah, it's always the thing around having the dongle. Is the dongle there? Have you got the dongle? I've broken a few dongles putting those in my bag. But
lost a few as well.
Yeah. But to get the best experience, always recommend using the Bluetooth dongle with the headset. But the first Microsoft Teams certified device for native Bluetooth here is the Surface Headphones 2 Plus. But you need to make sure you've got the updated firmware to make sure you get the best experience for that. And these have been gone through the same certification that you do with headsets with the dongle, because just connecting any old Bluetooth device is not going to ensure that you get quality, and the integration with the Teams button, the volume pluses. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it's exciting to see. This is the first one, I believe.
I think more will follow. There was a lot of news last month around the new licensing. So we had the new basic and pro license, and then one of the questions we often got is how can we treat displays and panels? And we just announced, or at Ignite, we announced a new license, which is the Teams shared devices license, formerly known as the Common Area Phone license, by the way. So we're rebranding that, and that's to license the panels and displays that you might have in your room. Now, mind you, if you have a setup where you already have a Teams room set up with a Pro license, you do not need a shared devices license. However, if you have a room where you might only have an outside of the room panel, like the schedule from Yealing that you see here on the image, it will need its own separate license, and this shared devices license was just announced for that scenario. Any pricing that you heard of, Martin?
No, I haven't heard about pricing. One question I do get asked is, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? So I did see this was surfaced in the Ignite blog, and then there was a later phone blog for Ignite, and it did have a date in there expected around December for this new license.
Okay,
But
so
no,
that's about
no
3 weeks.
price.
So it should pop up on the new price lists when those arrive in the next few weeks. So that was Ignite and mostly the devices announcements. I think we made a bunch of big announcements for Teams. We announced Mesh going into public preview. I think there were a lot of good things. You'd have to go back into the Ignite sessions. But let's get into all the October stuff that was announced. Shall we start with the Teams app? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, why
Yep.
not?
Together mode. Normally, when you open Together mode, it's one that I like to use a lot. Everybody's placed into these random seats, but sometimes you might want to have the presenter in the center, or maybe at the bottom. Now we're rolling out this new feature where you can assign seats in Together mode to really place all the people in a spot where you really want to have them. Have you tried this?
No, I haven't tried it. But yeah, nice to have that extra level of, I guess, of detail that you can have. I think, yeah, important. I think as you say, positioning organizers, where you want them, and I think maybe for like education and school, you may want to or always have the same seat, so you know where somebody is always seated in that. But yeah, you can also select Together mode for everyone now, rather than some people using it, some people not. So you've got that extra option to do that as well. So that's rolling out at the moment. But yeah, that's a nice addition to see to Together mode.
Maybe good to explain what rolling out means. So rolling out doesn't mean that somebody in Microsoft pushes a button and then 5 minutes later everybody has it. Right, so rollouts usually take place in phases. So it can take a couple of weeks before everybody gets the new feature. So when you see or when you hear us speak about we're currently rolling out a feature, again, that doesn't mean you'll have it the next day. It might take a few months before it hits your tenant. And as a matter of fact, it's not even per tenant, it's per user. So this could mean that the person that's sitting next to you or a person on your team already has one of these features and you don't have it yet. Just give it a few days or weeks, and then you'll see it as well. So rollouts always gradually and in phases. Another thing that we announced is the pop out of share content in a separate window. So previously you could pop out the chat conversation and even the meeting or calling into a separate window, but now you can also bring the shared content into a separate window for those that are stuck with one screen.
Yeah, I do sometimes as well. I have two screens and pop content on one screen and video on the other. So yeah, I think this is nice. Definitely nice to have, pop out your chats, pop out your meetings. Now you can pop out the content from your meetings. So
Right. Another thing that I always use is captions on meetings. It's for some reason it registers better. I also speak in a lot of countries where people don't always speak English. Right? So we do all these presentations in English, but then you might have somebody from France whose English is not as advanced, and they struggle to keep up. Now they can get live translated captions in Teams. It's 40 spoken languages, so that's a lot. You do need the Teams Premium license, so we should have put that in the Ignite announcement. So we announced a new license, which is the Teams Premium license. It has a bunch of new features. But then this add-on, I think, is a good one for people that are not really speaking the language that is spoken in the meeting.
Yeah, and it's so this is temporarily available for all customers now. Once Teams Premium is available, you will need that Teams Premium license to make use of this. But there is a note on the bottom about so the organizer would need Teams Premium. All the other meeting attendees can enjoy the live translated caption feature. So you don't need to license everyone with Premium. The organizer would need this, and yeah, it's all around, as you said, helping break down those language barriers. Sometimes I use them, just to read the text as well as hearing, even though I speak English and presenters in English. But
Yes, I do the
yeah,
same.
yeah, it's
I
yeah,
do.
yeah, making life easier.
And I think this is a nice next step besides the right next to the feature where you can already live translate the
Yeah,
slides. So that's a thing that a lot of people don't know. So hopefully everybody's out there is using PowerPoint Live and not sharing a PowerPoint by doing share and then sharing the screen, because PowerPoint Live gives you such a better experience. But then on PowerPoint Live, if you hit those three little buttons right below the content, you can actually translate all the slides into your preferred language. And that's something a lot of people don't know about. I was again on a call with a couple of French partners last week, and they were saying, "Hey, can we get these in? Can I read these in French?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. This is the way to do it." And they were amazed. It's something that not a lot of people know about.
no, I don't think I even know about that.
Oh, really? Oh, so another thing that we announced is the updated companion mode for Android users. Haven't been able to test this myself. I'm not an Android user, but the companion app is something that I use a lot on these Teams meetings, and I think it's great to have the ability to really control the devices in the meeting.
Yeah, and this looks like it was previously available in
Oh, it is
iOS.
in iOS. Oh, so this is the update for Android that was already in
Android.
iOS. I thought it was a new.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's good. Yeah, I love using the using your mobile as companion even more. Mute the room, turn cameras on and off. What great use of using your mobile.
Yeah, I often don't even bring a laptop to meetings anymore.
Mm.
I just go into the meeting room. So we have the Teams room set up there. We start the meeting, and then whenever I need to present a PowerPoint or something, I just do it straight from the phone. I don't want the distraction of whatever's happening on my laptop, so I just bring
Yeah,
the
yeah.
phone to the meeting room. Another feature is around a detailed call history. I think we made a big update last year to everything with calling, but this one is nice, Martin. It looks good.
Yeah, I think we've had a few asks around, making and having more detail in the call history. For example, were calls transferred or forwarded? How were they controlled once they were actually received? So detailed call history will give you, that extra level of detail into the call history now for Teams Phone. So they're combined with the ability to access call recordings and transcriptions from within the call details, gives you the context you need. So having that all in the call details or the call history, and it gives that extra context as well, and have everything in one place.
I love how we're putting all of this in one view. It makes it so much easier, and then having the recording and the transcription there, I think really adds a lot. It makes life a lot easier to get back to these conversations that you had on the phone, and then maybe forgot about or need certain parts from that conversation. So
Yeah.
I appreciate this. Creation of contact groups in the call app.
Yeah, so it says, I haven't played or looked at this myself, but yeah, users can create new groups and edit memberships of existing groups via the Calls app. So this is in the Teams client. Again, for calling, go into Calls. Yeah, it still is Calls.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can create these contact groups similar to what you could do back in the Skype for Business days, where we could create groups and add people in. So another nice addition to Teams Phone and calling to be able to create your own groups and edit existing ones.
Yep. So nice couple of updates to calling. We also got new certified devices in this past month. So the Creston Flex is now a certified device. It's a dedicated conferencing companion on that device. Again with Teams based, so you get the familiar Teams experience. I think that's always important to us when we release or certify these devices, that you get that same experience that you're so much used to on the client. And then new earbuds as well. I haven't tried these. I would love to. Hi Sony. So Sony has new Link buds that are now also Teams certified. And then the final device, I think that was certified this month, is the Neat frame. You can see one behind me here. By the way, the full Neat lineup is now team certified. I've messed around with this a little bit. It's great to have, especially here in the home office, or maybe for smaller rooms that you might be in. It's a great device to have, and it's good to see that it's finally team certified.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's different being portrait.
Right.
Um, other displays, the other display was kind of landscape, very smaller. This is portrait, big, large display. Um, yeah, it's great to see all the Neat, lineup now fully certified,
Yep.
and the Neat frame as well. I've had a quick go on one of these. It was great using it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I love it. I think it's a great device. And like we had the Lenovo Think Smart View,
That's the one. Yeah, yeah.
right? So and I enjoyed that one a lot as well. But I love the portrait mode now that I have. And I think we showed that on the Think Smart, but I don't think it really ever worked or happened. But I love what we're doing with, or what Neat is doing with the frame. That's good stuff. Bunch of changes on the roadmap, and this is a text-heavy slide. We will not go over everything, but we added a bunch of new things to the roadmap. You can just pause the video if you want to go over this. So this is what has changed on the roadmap for calling in the last month. Again, you can pause the video if you want to look at it in a little bit more detail. A lot of new stuff added to the roadmap as well for meetings. I think the choose spoken language and translate captions for Teams on Android and iOS is an exciting one. And then also the Firefox meeting support for outgoing screen sharing is, I think, an interesting one. And then finally, for devices, some new things added to the roadmap: managing hubs from Teams Admin Center, and still some things in development. I think we covered it all, Martin. We've been recording for about 25 minutes now. Sometimes the show will be 15 minutes, sometimes it will be an hour. This month was a little bit slower, but I think that's because of all the big announcements that happened at Ignite. Let us know what you think about the show in the comments. Is there something you need to see more of, something you need to see less of? I think it's important to, and I hate to do this part. Usually, when I do shows with Jimmy Vaughn, I let him do this. But make sure you like and subscribe. It helps to push the algorithms. And I just feel stupid saying that. But I think great first show, Martin. Thanks. And shall we do it again?
Welcome. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, you sounded like my. That's all I hear when my kids listen to
Right.
YouTube. Hit that
Yeah.
like button, subscribe.
Exactly.
Hit those notifications. I'll practice for next week or next
Yeah.
month.
Good stuff. See you on the next one. Thanks, Martin.
Later.
Goodbye.